Another incident happened in the UK, guys, where a police officer died and some people. It just never ends. It's a shame, really, that we live in a world like this with a lot of pain and suffering. It's not right. I'll play the video anyway.
10 people have been arrested on suspicion of murder following the death of a police officer in Berkshire. This is the scene where PC Andrew Harper, Thames Valley Police, died last night following what's described as a serious incident that took place at around 11:30 p.m. between Reading and Newbury. Well, our Home
Reading and Newbury, guys, if you live there and know what the crimes are.
Central London. Mark, what more do we know?
Well, not an awful lot more about the circumstances of this officer's death, just that he was at a crossroads on the A4 Bath Road between Reading and Newbury. The exact location, we're told, is crossroads of Ufton Lane and Lambsden Hill. Live shots now coming in off that crossroads. Now, as I say, we're not aware of what the circumstances are, but it was on a roadway, so it's certainly possible that this officer may have been struck by a vehicle. We simply don't know that. That will come out, I'm sure, in the coming hours. What we can tell you is that the officer, along with other colleagues, was attending reports of a burglary in that area when this incident unfolded. It unfolded at 11:30 last night. In which the officer then died from his injuries. Now, we're told that 10 people are in police custody at the moment, arrested on suspicion of murder. Arrested individuals, we're told, are aged between 13 and 30. Forensics officers, they wear these
13 and 30
to prevent them contaminating any scene, paying, of course, particular attention to the roadway down there, and there certainly seems to be some scattered debris and actually chalk marks as well, marking out an area off that road. So that would certainly perhaps add credibility to the suggestion that this officer may well have been struck by a vehicle or something on the roadway itself. So forensic teams working down at that scene that's been chalked out, another forensic officer there by the taped off area. The main A4 is still open, but part of that road, of the crossroads of Ufton Lane and Lambsden Hill, clearly have been cordoned off while this investigation takes place. It's a forensics investigation. These things are never quick time. The police and forensics teams can be at these scenes for quite a while. It can be quite a protracted operation as they gather all of the relevant evidence that will aid the investigation and potentially, of course, lead to prosecutions at a later stage.
Well, there was an incident in Newcastle where a guy got stabbed in real life, and over some couples arguing. I don't know where that video is, but that's what this country's getting to with people these days. They say 20,000 more police officers are going to help from London and Birmingham and the rest of the UK and the rest of England. And, you know, what else was I going to say? I was going to say 20,000 police officers. I hate it when your brain doesn't work properly sometimes. That's what they've been saying. Boris Johnson's been saying he wants to put more police on the streets. And there's another incident that happened 1 week ago. Rush hour helping injured police officer after getting stabbed in London 1 week ago. You see, they say it's getting better, but how is it going to get better when this Boris Johnson's supposed to say, no, he's going to put more prisoners in prison, 10,000 more prisons, and then everyone can see the crime. No one's blind in this world. This is why people are worried and they think they're not safe walking down the road or the street or anywhere, because people think it might happen to them and stuff. And let me tell you something, I've had a knife pulled on me and it's not very nice. Just for no reason at all. Because people think they can just pull knives on you and rob you and stab you for no reason. It's horrible. People don't know how to fight these days, and some people are not fighters. People just want to get on with their business without getting attacked and worried about idiots. You know what I mean? There's just some horrible people in this world sometimes. This was 1 week ago in the Daily Mail of a horrifying CCTV showing the moment of a thing by the police officer. So there's 3 police officers here, as you can see here, trying to apprehend someone.
I'm very pleased by the sentence that has been handed down today by the court. Back in August 2018, Louis Kostroman was wanted for a recall to prison. Officers attended the probation office to make an arrest. Kostroman used severe violence to attack the officers, including punching and biting, leading to severe injuries to one of the officers' ears. This level of violence, whether it's against a police officer or any other member of the public, is totally unacceptable. And the sentencing passed down by the court today demonstrates that we will pursue such allegations and the court will rightly recognise the severity of the offence.
See, the world's getting worse, in my opinion. So, I've got, let's see, 4 days ago, so what's that, injured, I was just reading the recent things that happened 4 days ago on the news. And they wonder why people get angry, because of silly things like this. This is in the Mail. Police officer smashing window.
Right, you're under arrest. He's been tasered. He's connected to me. He's connected to me. Get out. He needs to come this way. He's on the bar. Right, you're nicked for dangerous driving. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely in court, and if induced, may be given evidence. I don't know, there was no one. 3-1 late, can we have a supervisor to see? Quite a lot of vehicles damaged there. Yes, I've deployed taser. He's been compliantly boxed in with no contact, and then he's rammed our vehicle. It's under arrest for dangerous driving. Yeah. He's connected to mine still. Huh? What's your name? Darren Part 1. It is. Right, Mr. Moore, like I said before, you're under arrest for dangerous driving. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. All right? There was no need for that. The amount of taser.
They say the police officers are making the streets safe, but if people actually spoke to people, had a good conversation with them, there'd be no violence. Or I could be wrong, but you know, it's happening too frequently. People are getting, stabbed right, left, and centre. People are getting killed for no reason. People are getting picked on for no reason, and people approaching other people for no reason. People just want to get on with their life and have fun, and not worry about people annoying them. You know what I mean? It's a silly world we're living in.
It's a mindless and a brutal crime, and obviously all our thoughts are with his family, his friends, and his colleagues.
Here's Boris Johnson speaking about that police officer that got killed.
PC Andrew Harper showed in intercepting those criminals. I think of the risks that the police run every day to keep us safe, and that is why we're investing now in 20,000 more police officers on the streets to bring crime down across the country. But obviously today our thoughts are very much with PC Andrew Harper, and our thoughts with his family and our sympathies for their loss.
Will you be asking the Home Secretary to look specifically at any points you can make to protect current serving police officers rather than the 20,000 that you're talking about, to make them safer in their job if they are facing increased risks?
I know that the police are uniquely brave in that they go towards danger rather than away from it to keep us safe. And I know obviously whenever a police officer is murdered in the course of their duties, there is always a review to see what more we could do to protect our officers. I know that Priti Patel will be doing just that. This is a very rare occurrence. It's an absolute tragedy that a police officer should lose his life in the course of his duties. And of course, we will do everything we can to keep our officers safe, but they are there to keep the rest of us safe. And that's why we're investing.
Yeah, but the police officers can't be everywhere.
Few years.
Just finally, Prime Minister, you say it's a very rare occurrence. It's certainly the case, but just in the last week there was the incident in East London with a machete. Do you think that the streets are more dangerous for police officers now than they have been some time?
Overall, there's no doubt that crime is coming down, but it's also true, as you say, that we are seeing too much violent crime on our streets, and that's why it's so important that we get more police officers.
Things are getting worse.
But above all, that we back our police and give them the...
You see it in the signs, you see it on the news every day. There's always talk about all sorts of stuff.
Things like stop and search, but also to give them the political cover and protection and support that they require. I believe passionately in our police. They do an amazing job in keeping us safe, but they need political support at all times.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, there was a thing in Belfast the other week, 6 days ago, with a bonfire, and the police just decided to go out. If they're supposed to be police officers, which they're holding the law, why would they run away from kids and gangs all the time? This is what annoys me. I tell you guys, you probably agree with me. Here we go. Like, this is in Belfast, like, 6 days ago, a week ago, and there's police officers near a bonfire here. Yeah? Teenagers are throwing stuff on top of a bonfire. Usually, you'd think the police would stop them, but, see, it's illegal to build a bonfire near there. Once you put that uniform and badge on, you're representing the Queen in your country. Now, why would the police reverse here in Belfast? Look, there we go. They're pulling out from the bonfire. Police don't do that. Fair enough, not everybody likes the police, but why would they drive off? They're supposed to stop the crime, not run away from crime. So there we go. Unless they're outnumbered. You see, the thing is, this is ridiculous. And when this incident happened in, that there we just seen, somebody got stabbed there as well, in that place, in Ireland, on that bonfire. I mean, are the streets really safe? And you get people thinking, oh, he's just imagining it, oh, it's not that bad in the UK and everywhere else. There's worse countries. Of course, there's worse countries.
We are all shocked and saddened by the death of our colleague, PC Andrew Harper. Thames Valley Police was called to an incident near to Sulhamstead on the A4 between Reading and Newbury at 11:30 p.m. yesterday evening. Tragically, Andrew was attending a reported burglary along with a crewmate and was killed at the scene whilst performing his duties.
It's like nobody seems to care in the world. There's people that care and there's people that don't. That's why things are getting out of control.
With Andrew's friends and family, who are being supported obviously by specially trained family liaison officers. And to add further angst to what are terrible circumstances, Andrew was only married 4 weeks ago. A murder investigation has been launched, and currently there are 10 people who have been arrested on suspicion of murder. Those arrested are all male and aged between 13 and 30 years of age. They are all in police custody at this time. Because we have 10 people in custody, it will be inappropriate to provide any further details about the investigation at this time. What I can say is we are working hard and diligently to establish what has happened. The fact that so many of his colleagues were present at the scene is something that is clearly very distressing for them, as well as them being professional police witnesses. We are making sure that
Of course it's distressing. It happens over and over again.
We have to examine and establish the exact cause of death for Andrew, and there's a post-mortem taking place as we speak. But what we do know is that at some point, Andrew has been dragged along by a vehicle.
Do you know what I mean? They say it's distressing. It happens too often. It annoys a lot of people. Nobody wants to see the loved ones killed or murdered. Nobody does. They just don't have a clue, which annoys me. This is the thingy in London, I think. Police protest, Pakistanis London. It's not in Turkey, this, guys, if you've never seen it before. It's in London. They've got the Turkish flag there, I think. Or Pakistani flag. We tell at the minute what it looks like. See, people are fed up in the world. It's like an uprising. But they don't seem to understand.
India is known for its democracy, for its progress, for its peaceful efforts like Mahatma Gandhi. Pakistan is known for Osama bin Laden. Pakistan is known for terrorists. Pakistan is known for... So that's the reason. You can see they are all behaving like Osama. We are all behaving like Gandhi.
Reading in Newbury, yeah.
They are trying to hit us. They are trying to throwing eggs. They are throwing water bottles. They are throwing on us. You can see fruits and many things. And they are hitting ladies. You can see ladies and kids are there, and they are trying to attack on them.
Then you get this Brexit thing.
I'm absolutely delighted that finally, after 70 odd years, Kashmir is now free. The people can move inside or outside, and the development of Kashmir will increase by the day, by the month, by the year. The future for Kashmir is very bright. People are very intelligent over there, and they will soon learn to live peacefully with the rest of India.
Christ. No, it's not Australia. A lot of police officers there, as you guys can see. There's broken eggs everywhere. Bottles of water thrown on the floor. Yep. Absolutely ridiculous. I know I'm going to keep saying that, but it is. Right. You guys can see here, demonstrated moment, SWAT team officer kills kidnapper suspected. So this is in London. Was it America? It's America, this one. Shouting a lot, bloody hell. What you can hear is like rowing and shouting. Can't make out what he's saying. I had to turn that over because I couldn't even actually hear what was going on because of him rowing and shouting. American copper. Now, 3 days ago arrested. Right, okay, just looking at the what's going on here. This is what happened in France, I think, or was it Germany? France. So the whole world's lost control. It's like they're forcing the woman into the van, the police are. The world we live in, guys, you can see it's real. You got to see it's real because what is going on in this world? It's like the world's lost control. Dragging more people to a van. So knows. See, a lot of people are angry in the world and people don't realise. Absolutely ridiculous it is. More kicking off in the island with the Shields police. Policeman fell over. Got bricked or something. I hate it when I block nose guys and you get the same thing, but nose just blocks up. Well, right. Oh, he's got a knife.
A female victim, a female member of the public has been stabbed. There's been, again, subsequent to that stabbing, a
Australia.
number of stabbings by the same offender. And bear in mind, we have multiple crime scenes and we're in the infancy stage of this investigation. So the male offender responsible for the stabbing is in custody. All I can conclusively say is that male offender was on his own and there's no other person complicit at this stage. So the threat to the community has been negated, and I want to make that very, very clear.
This is why people get angry in the world.
Open the door with your hand from the outside, please. Go ahead and step out of the car. Turn away from us. Walk backwards towards us,
This
please.
looks like America.
Understood, sir. We'll talk to you in a second. Back up towards the detective. Understood. That's not our intention. And we all know how they are, okay? All right. Car is clear. You're all set, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to take the Norwalk PD for processing now. I picked it up from my PD 2 days ago.
Okay. Do you have your ID with you?
It's in my...
All right, let's go grab it.
It's amazing. Westchester called me already. I'm going to drive up.
You look very familiar to me.
There's my feet.
Yeah, I know.
Mr.
I used to see
Feety.
your Brook Street Bagels when I was an Eastchester cop.
Yeah, a bit carried away there, guys.
For the embarrassment. You just, I did. Clear it, clear it. Clear it, turn all the lights off, and we're good. No spectacle. All right, you know what? I'm going to turn my lights off. I'm going to get your information.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no worries.
I didn't want to say it's Brian Cashman over the radio.
I hear you.
You all right?
No one now, but
Understood. Now you got a story for the guys.
Okay.
103 2 Baker. We're heading to that meet location.
Yeah, I retired from Eastchester about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I used to see in the deli.
Yeah. That's a good spot down there.
It was when John owned it.
Sorry to... Yeah, John, I guess he moved to Rockland County.
When I was still there, he moved up the line and sold it to those other two guys.
Literally, just hung up. I was taking gas here for Sherry. Or Sergeant Sherry. He's like, yeah, just bring it in.
Yeah.
Walk right in. So I can't...
Did they steal your car or your
They
plate?
stole my car.
From the stadium?
No. And it was picked up in it was picked up in
I really don't know, like...
I had to go to Segura after get it.
Yeah.
But I was in Long Island in the baseball showcase yesterday.
Did you have it detailed and clean?
I haven't yet.
You need to do that before you put your family in it.
Oh, I hear you, but,
Yeah.
but there's stuff in the car that I feel would be evidence that's not mine, that they left like a water bottle. I was like, hey, I don't know if you guys fingerprint this stuff, but said,
Yeah, the NYPD is not great at that. Okay. All right, so you're all set.
Oh,
You
like
just
it's
gotta.
stopped again.
Honestly,
I'm only 10 minutes away from the Norwalk, but it's happened twice now.
but you know, like the thing is, Detective Palmieri explained to you, we had a guy that showed his gun in a doctor's office, left in a Jeep Wrangler, and then we're driving around looking for that Jeep Wrangler, white guy, you know, some facial hair, and no, don't be sorry, you're driving your car back, and it's not your responsibility
They
to
told me
cancel the alarm.
yesterday when I called, or 2 days ago, I called Norwalk. They were like, they spent the whole day Tuesday with NYPD to make sure the paperwork was processed. So I wasn't sure. I was like, listen, I'm in Long Island already. But, you know, they were worried I was going to get pulled over driving from, so we were having in the Bronx to Yankee Stadium. So I left it at Yankee Stadium for the last 24 hours.
You've got to be really worried for people at LPR units.
That's going to hit on that.
Yeah, you see these things on the roof of that police car? They'll grab that.
And they have those in New York. It's amazing. Well, it's amazing. Well,
Craziness. Well, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the stream on my phone from the short video I've done about the UK, about a police officer dying, and you know, there's a lot of wickedness in the world, of madness and everything. It would be nice if the world was a better place, a peacefuler place. But thank you for joining the stream. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you all in the next broadcast. Thank you for joining me, guys. Peace. See you next one, guys. Peace.